Let's take a few minutes to review flowchart symbols. We've talked about most of these. There's one of them that you may not have seen yet. It's coming up in our next unit. So to start with, flowcharts begin and end with an oval shape called a Terminator. It indicates the beginning or end of a program flow in your diagram. So we have a start up here. There's another Terminator down here for the end. Okay. Parallelograms denotes input or output of information. So anytime we're taking input from the user or outputting information to the user, we use a parallelogram. Okay. Then any just regular statements, any process, data processing, anytime we're just running through a series of statements one after another, that goes in a rectangle. When we make a decision, we get a yes or no. Technically, that should be a true or false. A decision is represented with a diamond shape. And at that point, we can pick either true or false. With the exception of that would be in a selector case statement, which we would have multiple different paths we could pick. This generally indicates a loop. We're going back up to something we've already done before. The next one is the one that may be new. It's a procedure call, okay, or a method call. So this is a way we can do some data processing, but we don't have to chart the logic of what happens here. We put bars indicating we're calling off to another method or another procedure or another function. A function call could be in one of these boxes as well. It's a rectangle with two vertical lines on each side. It indicates that we're going to do some other code that is not technically indicated in this flowchart. That procedure call or that method call or that function would have its own flowchart, right? So there could be a lot of things that happen in here. And then output result here is the parallelogram, just like we had back up here for the input. Okay. Over here on the right side, dynamic connector, and you might think that's a funny spelling for dynamic. Both spellings are correct. DYN is the same, means the same thing as the DIN. Shows the direction that the process flows, and that's the arrows. These are all dynamic connectors. So you should be familiar with these flowchart symbols, as well as be able to identify like a pre-test loop and a post-test loop if you see a post-test loop. And some of the common control structures that we've talked about in the past.